let me ask you about another big Labour promise, which is that only the top 5% would pay for your spending promises. You are going to remove marriage tax allowance, yes? And that is particularly targeted on people where one party is not working and the other is earning only the basic rate of tax. Are those people in the top 5%?
Well, we've said quite clearly that the top 5% will pay a little bit more. So anyone who's watching your show who earns less than £80,000 a year will not pay any more. We've also said that corporations will have to pay a little bit more. And to put that into context, we're saying that that will be at 26%. And under Margaret Thatcher, it was 36%.
Yep.
And in your piece earlier, I think this is really crucial to say. In your piece earlier, you were talking about people being honest with the public. We've been incredibly honest with the public about the fact that in order to have a world-class system, public service and those jobs of the future, then those at the top are going to have to pay a little bit more.
I'm really sorry, Angela Rayner, but you are not being honest with the public when you say that only the top 5% will pay. Everybody taking marriage tax allowance is going to lose that under Labour. They are not in the top 5%. They're relatively low and medium taxpayers, and you're taking £250 a year away from them. Why?
Well, I think, Andrew, the most important thing on this particular issue is quite clear, is actually the most important tax issues that we face at the moment is those at the top who are not paying their fair share. Our NHS is at crisis
what about the people on marriage tax allowance?
Our police are being cut, our education services are on their knees, we've not got the jobs of the future, we're not getting the skills, and it's really important that actually the big corporations pay a little bit more, and those at the top who are earning 80,000 and above will pay a little bit more in order for us to have the public services that we need to grow our economy in future. The Conservative manifesto is more managed decline.
What about those hundreds of thousands of relatively low-paid British workers who are going to lose marriage tax allowance, lose £250 a year because of Labour, despite the fact you say it's only the rich? It's not only the rich, it's people on marriage tax allowance who are going to lose money as well.
I think people listening to your show, actually, with the marriage
2 million people we're talking about.
The marriage tax allowance, if you look at the other investment that we're giving to families, the free childcare, the public services that we're investing in, the green jobs of the future, investing in our services again, actually, the net value to families across the country is going to be significant under Labour compared to the Conservatives, which, by the way, their national insurance claims on how they're going to reduce that is £2 a week is what they're going to give people in this country.
Lots of other things
a week, most people would want police, would want our education system to be well funded, and would want our NHS to be looked after.
Can I just ask you very clearly whether you are going to take, as a Labour government, £250 away from everybody claiming marriage tax allowance, and whether you accept that those people are not in the top 5%?
Very clearly, if you look overall at what our package is, everybody, bar the top 5%, will be better off under Labour. Because if you look at all our other policies, whether that's around our public services, whether that's around childcare, whether that's around tuition fees and students, whether that's our police investment, people will be better off under Labour. Under the Conservatives, it's more managed decline.
But it's not quite the honest promise that you offered at the beginning of this interview.
Absolutely.
Can I you're taking money, you're taking income tax away from lower-paid people.
To suggest that I'm being anything but honest, I think, is disingenuous. Actually, I've been incredibly honest. I've just said quite clearly that anybody who is in that tax bracket under 80,000 will not pay extra. I think that's important. I've also said that corporations will pay a little bit more, but it would be nowhere near where the corporation levels were under Thatcher, and will still be less than what it was under the last Labour government. And by investing and by making sure that those people pay a little bit more, we will have our public services again, and people won't be dying on trolleys in the NHS without the support that they need. And we can tackle homelessness, we can tackle the crises that our country faces at the moment beyond Brexit.